You showed us the Google Nexus. You showed us the HD2.
Yep.
What else do you have? And you also showed us the your lower end smartphone, which is going to be based off Brew OS. What else do we have here?
So what else we have here are more of our current products. So we have products like our HTC Hero, which is its Sprint, which is a really strong product. It is a Android device. It uses the Sense user interface similar to the well, actually, this and the Droid Air are the ones that use the Sense user interface. So that is the idea where we've taken Android, which is really great OS to begin with, and then brought really a new level of usability to the experience, right? With those pillars we talked about before, that idea of personalization, putting people at the center, little surprises, things like that. So it's just a nice way for people to interact with the Android OS. It's been really well received.
Now, when the Aris first came out, also the Hero, they were using Android 1.5, correct?
That's correct.
And Sense UI was only able to support 1.5.
Correct.
Now, supposedly, from what I hear, 2.1 for Android is coming out. Has just come out with the new Google Nexus. Will we now have an update to the older phone? So we have Android 2.1 and Sense that can support it?
Both Sprint and Verizon have announced that there will be an update to 2.1 with Sense coming by mid-year, basically. So they will both get that going forward, yes.
So second quarter, third quarter?
By the middle of the year. So somewhere between now and June, let's say. So yeah, in that time frame, they will both get an update.
Okay. So we know this is the Hero for Sprint.
Yes.
This is, and then we have T-Mobile. What's this one right here?
This is the MyTouch 3G.
Okay.
MyTouch 3G. So again, the experience here is a little different in that this is actually a Google experience product, right? So this is similar to the Nexus One, except this is we're running 1.6 at this point on this device. It is a more pure Android experience without the Sense UI. So you can really see the difference here. So the home screens they have a very different look about them.
So yours is very much focused on the widgets and information to be right there, while the Google one is about apps and Google search right in the front.
Yeah, I mean, really with the Sense UI, what we're doing is using widgets, using information to bring the stuff you want and need to the very top of the experience. That's the key.
Okay. What are some of the newer features that come out of Sense 2.1? Do you have an example of that?
I don't.
I don't. You don't?
But I mean, a lot of the things that you saw, I mean, there will of course be some enhancements to the Sense-based UI as well. Those will be, we'll be able to talk about those down the road a little piece. But obviously, a lot of the things that were the evolution that was involved with 2.1 Android, the stock Android, will also find their way to the Sense version. So things like turn-by-turn directions, etc.
Okay. How are they, I don't know if you can answer this right now, but how would you go about incorporating like the turn-by-turn directions and stuff like that with the widget systems in the 2.1? Like, is there any particular case example you can explain with that, for people to imagine and drool over?
Well, I mean, again, the widgets will be, with 2.1, I don't think that the widget, the idea of getting the information you want brought to the top, that doesn't really change a whole lot. It's going to really be things that are, there are new capabilities in 2.1. For example, the Android market itself, it has a little bit of a better experience. So some of those things. But I think that what you'll see is that for most users, 2.1 brings some nice things to the table, but it's evolutionary, right? It's evolutionary more than revolutionary. And that's the nice thing, is that somebody that's using a 1.5 with Sense product today is getting a very, very good experience. With 2.1, they'll get the same basic experience, but with some extra features on top of that.
Now, these other two phones we have here, they're both on AT&T. Are they both Android?
No, these are actually the same phone. I have two of them out. But this is the Tilt 2. This is a Windows Mobile product. So which one is on?
6.5 or 6?
It is 6.5.
6.5.
It is 6.5. Well, neither one's on. But this one actually does, this is nice, is you have the full keyboard, plus you have the touchscreen. And what's really cool is that this is the AT&T version, the Tilt 2, but we sell a variant of this at every carrier in the US, right? So Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile all have a variant of this device, which is nice. So no matter which operator you are on, you can get this kind of experience. And the keyboard is just outrageous. I mean, for a mobile device, this is as good as it gets.
Now, to talk about HTC as a company, I remember first learning about HTC when I was younger, when you released the G1 phone. I think collectively everyone was like, who's HTC, who's this company?
There was.
But when I found out what HTC did. The company has basically made every single Windows mobile phone that was on any maker, either Samsung, Motorola, for the last 7 years essentially now. And you've now come to the forefront of being a rather impressive developer of hardware in your own right that's branded by HTC.
Yep.
What has been your view of HTC finally, moving, having the kind of Dirty Dancing moment where no one puts baby in the corner kind of thing?
I think really what it was that understanding that we were doing a very good job as an ODM. We could have kept doing that forever, but we would have only gotten so far. By having our own brand, it was a way for us to continue to grow, continue to expand, and it was just a necessary step and a good one, because what differentiates what HTC has done is that so many companies will say, gee, we're going to start a new company, and the very first thing we need to do is build our brand. We didn't go that direction. What we did is first, we really built our expertise as an ODM manufacturer. That was our first step. Then we put our own branding out there and started getting more and more people who knew who we were, more of a fan base out there. And we were at that point where we were growing, and then we decided, hey, now let's build a brand. So we had this really nice foundation to build it on, and people who already knew who we were. So we weren't just building a brand on air. That was the really cool thing. So this is allowing us to say, this is the HTC experience. The Sense experience is HTC. We wouldn't be able to do that if we were making just ODM products for lots of different manufacturers, because then nothing would have any real consistency. Now we're able to come out with generation after generation after generation of phone, and people wanting to get the next one to upgrade, to move along, because they like and are familiar with the HTC experience.